Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this morning and sorry that I didn't do the second part to worst movies of 2022 yesterday. I just came down with like something in my throat and it was making me cough so much. So it was like 3:30 in the morning that it was just making me cough. And I was like, oh my god, I do not want to deal with getting sick again. But I'm doing okay now. It's just I had to drink some hot tea and honey this morning. So basically, I'm returning to you for the worst movies of 2022 part 2 video. And I'm going to continue where I left off from the first part, which was last night's video, which I hope you enjoyed that video. Because I did the best I could to make it as good as possible, even though I was really tired in that video. I just was wanting to get it out of the way. The first part at least. So let's dive right into the worst movies of 2022 part 2 video from 18 to whatever number I get to. Now at number 18 is Blacklight. This stars Liam Neeson in it, and I think he's made too many movies already as it is, and the script wasn't very good. I know The Marksman was another movie that I wasn't hating, but I think it was decent. But this movie just felt flat to me. It fell flat to me, in my personal opinion. And the story and the script was not interesting, or the plot and the premise of the movie wasn't very interesting to me. It was just like, oh, okay, another Liam Neeson movie that's just gonna kind of suck. So, I like Liam Neeson as an actor. He's a great actor. I'm not discrediting him for that. I'm just discrediting this movie and how it turned out. So it wasn't a very good movie. So at number 18 is Blacklight. Number 17 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Boy, this movie sucked. Total donkey dick for sure. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, it really did suck. It was so underwhelming. It was in a small town or whatever that they're trying to build and make it a big city, and then this Leatherface is coming after them and killing each one of them. The bus scene was probably the brutal one, but uh, basically the movie did not turn out very good, and the ending was not very well done. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of this movie, and it just totally sucked. So at number 17 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You can definitely go check out my movie review I did for it back in February of this year, because I think that's when it came out. I was not pleased with this movie at all. It really disappointed me. Um, but it was pretty bad. Number 16 is Memory. Now, this is another Liam Neeson movie he made 2 months after the Blacklight movie, and this was even worse than the Blacklight movie, but it was bad, but it was a little bit worse because it's making it seem like Liam Neeson is trying to feel like he's forgetting his memory, has like some kind of Alzheimer's or whatever in this movie, but the short-term memory loss, I guess you could call it, and he just forgets who he has to kill and all that. So I'm like, really? This script is stupid. So I don't know. I think he's done enough for the movies he's made, in my personal opinion. I'm sorry that he's going through a lot with his life and all that, with other things like that. I don't know his personal life story. It's just, yeah, I just wasn't a fan of this movie. It didn't turn out very well. And at number 16 is Memory. Number 15 is Halloween Ends. Now, this movie really sucked. Even worse than the second one. which was Halloween Kills, and that one was okay, but this one was worse. The basically the kill scenes were awful. It just didn't impress me as a movie to enjoy, and just the story behind it and the pacing of the movie was garbage. So I was not a fan of this Michael Myers movie, and I was really torn by how it turned out. I was like, wow, this really sucked for an hour and 40 minutes of a movie or something like that. I was not that impressed with it. So it was a pretty shitty movie. So I highly don't recommend you guys check it out. And if you did, then, and if you liked it, that's your opinion, but I personally didn't. It was one of the worst movies of this year. It's in the top 15, so that's why I made it pretty bad. So at number 15 is Halloween Ends. Number 14 is a Medea Homecoming. Um, Sorry that I haven't really gone into explanation with these movies and what I watch from it. I tried to go into some deep explanation some of the time, but you can definitely go check out my movie reviews for each one of them if you haven't seen them yet, because I did them uh, before this end of the year video. But basically, to continue where I left off, a Medea Homecoming, the jokes were just plain out boring and stupid and didn't do anything for me. Didn't entertain me or made me laugh that much. It just got so annoying. And I'm like, okay, Tyler Perry, you're kind of overdoing it too much with the jokes. And as Medea, it's just like her character is a nothing character now. And it's a shame because I really like the Medea movies, but this one fell flat for me. So at number 14 is a Medea Homecoming. It's just about a gathering or whatever where they're getting together or something like that, and then it starts drama, and I'm like, this movie just got stupid. So, yeah. Number 13 is Cheaper by the Dozen. Now, this was a remake for the original Cheaper by the Dozen, and it was bad. It was really bad. So, basically, I went into this with high expectations, thinking, okay, it'd be an alright movie. But no, it wasn't. I was not impressed with the actors in this movie. Gabrielle Union plays the mom, and Zach something, I can't remember his name. Um, he plays as the dad in the movie, and basically they're trying to move out or whatever, move to a different place, and they do, and it just, this movie did nothing for me, and the story behind it was not really interesting and compelling. It was just a bad movie, and the performances were not very interesting, but they were okay, but the movie itself felt really shitty. So at number 13 is Cheaper by the Dozen. Alright, at number 12 is The King's Daughter. Now this movie was about Pierce Brosnan that's actually he captured a mermaid or whatever that has magical abilities to help him with some kind of thing that he needs or whatever. He wants to share the magical abilities with the world and all that, and also the daughter, Kaya something, I can't remember her name. Um, she was good in the movie, but the movie did suck big time. And it's because the story was not interesting and just was a stupid story and just didn't impress me in any way. So I was really disappointed with this movie and how it turned out. When I first watched it, I'm like, okay, this movie's gonna suck. So it did suck. And he goes crazy, Pierce Brosnan's character, in the movie as King George or Richard or something like that. I can't remember honestly, the 14th or whatever. But yeah, number 12 is The King's Daughter. It's not the worst movie this year, but it is pretty bad for sure. It's almost in the top 10. Number 11 is Alice. Um, Now I watched this movie back in March this year. And it's another slavery movie. I think Keke Palmer's performance was okay, but the movie, no. I just wasn't impressed with it. And the story was just redundant and forgettable. So, wasn't really all that impressed with this movie. And I'm kind of done with slavery movies. It's just, no offense, and I know they mean, no, they're trying to send a message and all that, but it just gets overutilized so much to the point where you're like, okay, they're making too many of these kinds of movies. And Emancipation was another movie that they made recently. I have no desire to watch it, unfortunately, because it's a slavery movie, and I'm like, I'm kind of done with slavery movies. No offense to the people that, the black people that went through that stuff, which uh, it's pretty horrible, honestly. But it's just the fact that they're making so many of these movies that they're trying to spread awareness, and I get that, but it just, this movie didn't execute very well, in my personal opinion. And this pacing of the movie and the premise was not very interesting. So I was really torn by this movie. So at number 11 is Alice. Number 10 is Senior Year, and I'm sorry that I went into deep explanation with the slavery movie kind of stuff. It just, I personally wasn't connecting with this movie, in my honest opinion. And I know it may come off as crude and all that and really horrible, but no, it's not what I'm intending. It's just they really make too many movies like this. And I think that's kind of enough. We get the point. The white people fucked up, for sure. Um, Senior Year was another movie that I didn't finish. I didn't want to finish it because it was really bad. And Rebel Wilson's character in the movie, she goes back to high school again in her 30s. And sorry for choking or hiccuping a moment with my throat. It just, I've been coughing a bit this morning. And it's kind of sucked. Um, but yeah, Senior Year, I didn't want to finish this movie because of how bad it was, and I was not impressed with this movie. So at number 10 is Senior Year. Like I said, Rebel Wilson goes back to high school to finish her senior year, and she goes in a coma for like 20 years or something like that. And she then wakes up and she's like 36 or something like that. I can't remember honestly. Maybe 18 to 19 years later or something like that. I don't remember. But she wants to go back to school. And this movie was so juvenile, honestly, that it just made me cringe. So, not impressed with this movie. So, at number um, 10 is Senior Year. Number 9 is The Bubble. Now, this was another bad movie. It's in my top 10, of course, and I'm in the top 10, of course, so hopefully you'll enjoy my top 10 for some of it until I have to finish the video and do another part for it. The Bubble was a pretty bad movie. It's just about them trying to make a movie and they're really working them to death when there's a pandemic around in the movie, of course, which is true. There was a pandemic in real life, and it really sucked. But basically, everyone was getting COVID in the movie, and it was just like, ugh, this movie just felt long and bad. I like the theme song to it, but no, I don't like the movie itself. So it was a pretty bad movie. So at number 9 is The Bubble. Number 8 is Sneakerella. Give me a second, guys. I gotta pause the video. Sorry, guys. My mom was calling me for a moment, so please forgive me for pausing the video. Like I said, number 8 is Sneakerella. This movie was just really bad, and the reason why it was really bad is because of the story itself. It did not do very well. And it's just a musical slash talking about sneakers, and I'm like, are you fucking for real? This Disney, come on. This is the worst Disney Plus movie I've seen this year. So at number 8 was Sneakerella. I got nothing else to say about it. It just was a bad movie overall. A very bad movie. Number 7 is Morbius. Now, this stars Jared Leto and Matt Smith in this movie, and basically it wasn't a very good movie. The story behind it was not good, and the post-credit scenes were horrible. And just, they really fucked this movie up into the ground. They just threw some dirt on it and said, oh, well, here we go. This is the movie we want people to see. And it was a garbage movie in my opinion. So, hey, but if you guys like it, more power to you. It's not a great movie at all. I don't highly recommend my audience checking it out. But if some people want to check it out for themselves to see what they think of it, by all means, feel free to watch an agonizing, painful, crappy movie. So, the CGI in it was pretty bad too. And I didn't like the fight scenes. The fight scenes with the CGI mess up in this was just horrible. So at number 7 was Morbius. Number 6 is The Tiger Rising. Now this was another bad movie I could not stand. I just was not impressed with this movie. It's just about them, Dennis Quaid capturing a tiger, and also one of the kids is trying to see if they can rescue the tiger. And also, it just, no. This movie was horrible, and Queen Latifah giving some truthful wisdom, or some kind of wise wisdom, or whatever. This movie was bad overall. It was one of my worst movies this year, so number 6 is The Tiger Rising. It's not as bad as the other movies I'm going to be mentioning in the next video, so I'm going to have to end this video here for now because I only got 5 more movies to mention in the next part, so it shouldn't be a long video. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this part 2 video for worst movies of 2022. Yeah, I guess I was going to be making 3 parts. I thought I had time to do another one, but I don't because I have to do this video under 20 minutes. Because if I don't do it under 20 minutes, YouTube won't let me upload it for some odd reason. But until then, stay safe, guys. Take care. Hope you enjoyed part 2 of Worst Movies of 2022. I will be returning to you for part 3 pretty soon. So as always, I'll see you in the next part pretty soon.